Ooh, that looks tasty.
Welcome folks, today the Hungry Gamer is back with another mini preview, and today we are talking about the Kingdoms of Akandia. And if you are interested in seeing how the game is played, I highly recommend that you check out the playthrough done by Barrett from Meet Me at the Table. In fact, I'll have bits of that actually playing up there. He was kind enough to let me borrow it and use it here. There's a link to it down in the description. And the reason that I have that playing up there and I didn't try to put it all on camera is for a couple reasons. One, it's a very, very big board. Very, very, very big. So hard to contain. And there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. And because I was actually out of town and away, I actually didn't have as much time as I would have liked with this game. So hence we had the mini preview. But again, check out up there what's going on and go check out the video as well. But with that said, what Kingdoms of Akandia is it is a narrative campaign style game that will have you spending your time kind of moving around this huge map, as you can see up there, and building your characters and doing crafting to build your characters more as you are trying to accomplish the certain requirements given to you by the story. In general, it will be go to this spot on the map, and when you are there, you're going to read another section of the book and do a thing. Or go to this section on the map and fight some bad guys. Or get off the board before these bad guys are able to get you and catch you and kill you and all that kind of stuff. And what's going to be happening is this is going to kind of see you going all over this board. Because you're also going to have side quests that are going to be out there for you to accomplish, which will be able to level yourself up. Or you know that you're going to be able to unlock this skill if you craft a certain thing. But of course, you need leather to do that. And to get that leather, you're going to have to go 10 spaces up and 2 to the right, or whatever it may be. And so there's a lot of travel, a lot of adventuring going on, but it's done more in the abstract because you just have your standees out on the board and you're moving around this big map. You're never like zooming in like you do for like a in-depth combat. Now that said, there is combat, and combat is done in a couple of steps. And each bad guy you face is going to have different abilities and so on and so on. But the core of what's going to happen is you have your attack stat, and you have your defense stat, and you have your helm stat. And what these are you're going to roll your dice, and you get for the most part, a d6 per character in the fight. You can have multiple characters in the fight if you want. And you're going to add to that whatever your attack stat is. And you're going to compare that to whatever the defensive stat is of the bad guys. And that's going to change every single time because it's going to be whatever the stat is plus the roll of a d6. And should you beat that number, you're going to be able to do damage. But you're going to be able to do it again, and the second time you'll be facing off against their helm stat, and again, doing damage. Then when they're rolling their dice, they're going to have this special die they're going to roll along with it, and that die is going to be either nothing on there, a sword, or a shield. And if it's a sword and they're attacking, they're going to get some kind of special ability they're going to get to use. If it's a shield when they're defending, they're going to get a bonus to their defense. All in all, pretty simple, relatively abstracted, or actually very abstracted, because there is no positional combat or anything like that, but fairly quick. And you're going to be playing through this game until you have either died or until you accomplish the story objectives. When you do that, you'll be able to go on into the next chapter. Now, I only had a single chapter in the prototype, so what's going to happen, I don't actually know. So, what do I like about this game? The first thing that I like is I do like the scale of it. It does feel like a truly epic adventure because you're traveling around this huge map, and it also at the same time has that good crunchy joy of building up your character how you want. And as you're building up your character, you even get little kind of puzzle pieces you're kind of putting together to show that your character's getting stronger and stronger. And that is really fun. It's got a good variety of what the different characters do and their abilities that they have, and what you can unlock and how you unlock them. All of that I think does work really well. There's a decent amount of replay as far as this style of game goes because of all the different side quests you can do and kind of go off and chase around those. And along with that, each one feels a little bit different anyway because there's an event deck that you're drawing from every round, and that's going to do different things and kind of vary up the game a bit as well. The next thing that I enjoy is I do enjoy that combat is simple. And it's a couple of dice rolls. You're going to throw those dice, and maybe you're going to use your abilities, and that's going to be it. And there is a good bit of chance in a good way there as you're rolling that special die to see what kind of bonuses the enemy's going to get, which is going to give you that feel that sometimes, you go off, you think you're just fighting a bandit. Oh my gosh, that's the bandit that's gonna be the, bandit lord if you don't take him out down the road. So he's like really, really powerful. And it does that in a way that is overall enjoyable, I think. The other thing that I like is the way that different events are going to be seeded out onto the turn order track, for want of a better term. And around the entire board, there are little turn orders. There's little numbers that mark turns. And as you're going through, you're going to be putting these events out. So you're going to be seeing when something's going to happen, or seeing when you have to have something finished or it's going to go away. And it just adds a little bit of urgency to the game because you see something is coming. You have to get something done before that happens. And because you can see that so easily and you always know what's there, there's always a fair amount of things that can be out there. It makes the decision space in the game pretty darn interesting. And so I like that as well. The last thing I'll say is I think the story itself has promise. Now, I've only looked at the first chapter, so I don't know where it is going, but it is a strong setup for something that could be a cool story as you're going through. So what are my quibbles with the game? And the first one that I'll say is this game in some ways reminds me of Legends of Andor. And I don't say that because I think Andor is a bad game, but when I first played Legends of Andor, I thought, oh, adventure game, and fight, fight, fight. But that's not really what that game is. It's a little bit more puzzly, and I think this game has a little bit of that in it too. It's a little more puzzly than you might expect looking at all the story and the art and the character creation. It's a little more puzzly because you do have some time constraints going on, and you're kind of going to be rushing from place to place, and you're going to have to make decisions, go with that decision, and you're not going to be able to do everything. And that might not be what you are expecting when you first look at this game. It really is not a dungeon crawl. This is an adventure game, and it does have that character building, it does have that RPG sensibilities, but it is not a dungeon crawl. You're not going to be fighting all the time. There's going to be times you're going to be are you going to be a coward? You're going to be running away from stuff. And that's just what this game is. And that's neither good nor bad, but again, just something to keep in mind, because I know people like me, we see this as, oh, dungeon crawl, dice chucking, killing, fighting, but that's not what this is. My next quibble with the game is, in the combat, it can perhaps feel a little bit fiddly. And that's simply because you're doing your attack and against the defense. You're doing your attack against the helm. And it reminds me in some ways of playing Warhammer Fantasy Battles or Warhammer 40K, which is the only one that still exists. How you have your to hit roll, then you have to do your wound, and then the dice that you actually wounded with, then they get an armor save. And so you may hit with 10 things, then one of them wounds because of all the different dice rolls. And there's just a whole bunch of dice rolls that are happening in each round of combat. Now they're quick and they're fast, but it's just a lot of rolls. And it does have some of that kind of diminishing returns feel. And again, that might not be something that's exciting to you, just to be chucking a bunch of D6s and watching your hits slowly disappear. Now, as I said, it's quick, and I found combat to be enjoyable, kind of an abstract experience, but something to keep in mind. And the last thing I'll say is, and I've already alluded to this, is I don't know where the story is going. I don't know what the end game is. I haven't gotten to play this enough to say, oh, the story really, really picks up and gets going, because I've only played the first chapter. So just keep an eye on the campaign. See what they're talking about. See where they say it's going. See what bits of art and story and stuff that they're going to be giving you. Because, like I said, I think there's a lot of promise here, but I don't know where it's going. So, there you have it, folks. That is Kingdoms of Akandia. This is a game that has an epic adventure feel to it, and really, it's grand in scale. And the building of your characters is fun and interesting, and the way combat works has some good, strong variety to it. Though there's a lot of dice going back and forth for one attack. So there you have it, folks. That is Kingdoms of Akandia. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.